Can we get both teams to please shake your hand with the other opponent teams to show all of us out here our esports team spirit? And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready for MPL Season 3 Grand Finale? I'm going to pass down the mic back to our caster out here, Faraz, Terrence, and Contra. How are you guys doing? You guys are good?
Thank you so much, Boaz and Fira. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Mobile Legends Professional League, Malaysia and Singapore, Season 3!
We are the Powerpuff Boys, or Men in Black, as you may call it. I'm going to be your host for today. My name is Faraz, and I'm joined by Terrence and Contra. And this is the final day of the playoffs for MPL-MY Season 3. We have 4 teams remaining, fighting for a prize pool of $51,000 just for the playoffs, and the champion will be walking away with $25,000. Now, this is all brought to you by Moonton and EG Network, and we're live from the beautiful, beautiful Sunway Pyramid LG2 Concourse. If you guys are watching us live, make sure you come down here and catch the action live. We have so many activities out there. What do we have, guys?
We got so many things. We see Build Art Man from MIA as well. And if you guys are wearing orange, I believe there's something special for you guys. So make sure you are here at the LG. Definitely. Speaking of orange, does this count as orange?
Nope, it doesn't. You know what? This is all complimentary of our legendary sponsor, U-Mobile. If you guys wear orange, you get extra complimentary gifts. So make sure you wear orange and come down here as soon as possible. A big thank you to our elite sponsors as well, HyperX, Honor, and Unipin. Also, if you guys are catching us live, you're probably on our official live streaming platform, Facebook Gaming, or if you want to catch it in PM, you can also watch us on TV at EGG Network plus channel 807. Once again, this is your panel for the first matchup of the day, and I can't wait, guys. Talk to me about how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling excited, man. Like yesterday's game for GEEK Fam was just insane sick. You know, I'm looking forward to see what they can bring us for us today.
Right, anything you're looking forward to, Contra?
Well, of course, I'm looking forward to see how GEEK Fam is going to fight against all these Singaporean teams. But of course, let's have a look into the brackets on how things are going to go so far. We will have our first match of today. It's going to be BIGETRON SG versus GEEK Fam. And over on the lower brackets, it's going to be intense because this will be EVOS Esports Singapore versus Resurgence. Both of them have been to the grand finals. And of course, the only one that has ever lifted the throne out of the 4 teams, it's only going to be BIGETRON SG. But we will crown our new champions for this season because yesterday, Reborn was knocked out.
Definitely. Now, as you can see, the only Malaysian team left is GEEK Fam right here, and this is a double elimination format, best of 3, aside from our grand finals, which is going to be a best of 5. That means we have a lot of games lined up. That is why I keep telling you guys, if you guys are watching at home, make sure you come down here because you get to see all the pro players. You get to see everything else. You get to participate in our activities. We have even ranks where you can actually print your badges on your... Yeah? I mean, that's super cool, right? Did you get yours?
No.
I'm going to give it to you later. Yeah. You have a terrible rank, so don't worry. I'll give it to you later. We're going to take a look at the lineup for BIGETRON right here. Contra, talk to me about this.
Of course, this is going to be Jason Ko, KZP, LY4, Sync, Mr. V, as well as Sana. But of course, LY4 won't be around for today. We will have Jason Ko subbing in to take his position, but we've seen the versatility coming in with this new composition. They don't have to rely on his marksman anymore, so you'd have to see what BIGETRON has on the table.
Now, Terrence, BIGETRON as you performed so well yesterday. What do you think about the performance?
No, I definitely love their current performance coming into the playoffs. They're considering that they used to play this. Our meta has been early and aggressive and so on. But you know, after the switch up, it's amazing. But however, let's take a look at the next challenge here. Our Malaysian fan favorites here, GEEK Fam. We have Dominus, Zorn, Too Easy for Jabs, Repo, Fix, as well as Arts here. Definitely, you know, I have to give credit to this team. They are the best here so far, one of the best for me, and our only hope left as our Singaporean Slayers.
That's right, man. I mean, these guys were the only Malaysian team that actually managed to basically slay the most amount of Singaporean teams in the regular season, so that means they do actually deserve to be here.
Yes,
right?
and to think about that, Nara is the only one that was defeating GEEK Fam, and GEEK Fam managed to eliminate the rest of them in the regular season, but things might just change today.
Exactly.
That's right. Now we're going to be taking a look at the featured players from both of these teams. We have Grok and Minotaur right here. What do you guys think about this? Mr. V and Jet.
Of course, Mr. V has always been the really reliable tank. He's really known for his Minotaur as well, but this season, we do see him playing a whole lot of Grok. And just look at the amount of damage that he can actually output as a tank itself. It's really respectable. And Debs, being a captain, he has drafted out really solid compositions for his team so far.
Terrence, what about you? Which one do you actually prefer? Which tank for you is actually, which one of them plays a better tank?
I like how Mr. V plays the Grok, and his early aggression is so annoying, and not to mention he's always opening the map for his team, giving information for his team. However, Jabs plays a different kind of role where he plays a very patient, disciplined kind of play style where he waits for the right opportunity and goes in for the kill.
That's right. Now, if you guys were watching the games of yesterday, we really realized that tanks and supports are becoming a lot more significant in this meta. We see Grok being first pick a lot of times. What else? Like, I mean, we see other tanks as well, right?
We see a lot of
supports.
Kaya as well. If it's not being banned away, they may just pick it in the first go, or even Chao, as we do see it from time to time. But of course, most of them also built towards the fighter damaging build coming in. So there's so many things on the table, and we've talked a lot about Esmeralda being a really annoying hero to play against, but it might just be brought to the table again because GEEK fam played a solid Esmeralda yesterday.
I think Esmeralda should be banned.
I don't know. Like, in terms of first pick materials here, we always talk about versatility and the mind games between this team, right? Like Cho is definitely one of those heroes. Esmeralda could be played multi-roles as well. There's actually 3 different builds for Esmeralda, which is the tank build, the fighter / mage build, and also the mage burst build. So it's comes down to however this players actually play it. But so far, the quick succession for Esmeralda has been the mage fighter style or playstyle, which is just fighting and just tanking all the damage and sustain throughout the games here.
So, you know what? Let's get into more detail specifically in each of these teams. We're going to talk about GEEK fam first. Okay, what kind of playstyle are we going to expect to see from this team? I mean, we saw a couple of matches from them yesterday. We saw 3 games. And what do you think about that? They lost 1 game, but they won the other 2. What's their playstyle? Are we going to see early aggression, or are they going to be defensive? What sort of...
Okay, that's the thing about GEEK fam. Every time you expect them to play aggressive, expect them to play safe, they always come up with something new. Like, during the regular season, you're known for their hard zone picks, their hard zone last picks out of nowhere, split push potential, which is so annoying to deal with. And yesterday, that Bandang pick to actually counter off the Grenadier, which most of us top players were struggling to actually deal with, and we realized that how strong the Bandang is, but they just pulled it off. That support Bandang, like, whoa. And it dragged out to like, what, 38 minutes?
Yeah.
And I liked how they made the decision where he actually built up from a tank Bandang and transitioned into a damage build.
Was it? Okay, yeah, I agree. I remember,
He switched his items.
The thing is, I don't think anybody expected the Badang pick, right? And I think we're going to see more pocket picks coming out from these guys. Any sort of heroes, Contra, you're expecting to come out? Any sort of weird picks?
Well, I don't think that there's anything weird that might come up. Bring back some of these metas that they pull off. Like what you said, the Hanzo picked up in the regular season was just fantastic. And they will bring out their 448 for Hong Kong style that they call it. The way that they actually rotate around the map is really interesting because they just cut across and just go into the enemy's jungle territories, everything out, starve out their opponents. But who knows? BIGETRON may be able to read their movements and can catch them out. Then that could be really punishing if they do so. And looking at how Sync is actually doing throughout this whole season, he is one of the most powerful players around, especially in the mid lane. He can play just about anything, so you cannot disrespect what BIGETRON can actually do. And if you actually make any mistakes at all, it's going to be costly. And as much as this is the upper bracket, they have another chance, but everybody wants to be in the grand finals. This is no time for slip-ups.
Exactly, and not to mention on top of Sync as well. Sync was also in the top three for our KDAs for the regular season. So it was impressive to see him. Once in a while we do see him play tanks, once in a while we see him mage. So he's quite a multi-role in that regard. So flexibility is very important, especially when it comes to the skill stage. Anything can happen. Triple tanks actually worked out during regular season, which was quite a surprise factor for me from Nara Esports. Picking a Uranus out of nowhere, I'm like, okay. They buffed
but
it
worked out, right?
Yeah, it definitely worked out. Well. And I had actually weird rumor about GEEK fam. We've heard.
Wait. Is this a rumor?
Yeah, a rumor about their drafts.
All right,
okay?
listen up, everybody.
So basically, according to during the regular season, we see standard. Oh, we expect them to play hard team, right? But the rumor is they might actually bring in the S-Test into the meta.
Wow.
That's sort of interesting. I mean, like, we haven't seen it in a really long time.
Yeah, during regular season, we only seen it once. It was paired up with the S-Test and Belleric, which somehow they actually won the draft. Reason being that opponent did not have a lot of fighters. They had bursts, but they did not have fighters. So what they did was just sustain all the bursts and just go bananas.
Right. Now, do you think this will work against a team like BIGETRON? I mean, these guys, we know BIGETRON yesterday, they were so solid, and these guys can adapt so well. I mean, they have so much experience. And when we talked about yesterday's stage fright, and this is not a thing for BIGETRON, it's just like stage fright is not a thing. These guys have that experience. So, do you think that will be a problem?
Well, it all comes down to the draft. You know, if you give BIGETRON Guinevere, they're gonna stop you all the way through. We have not seen too much Guinevere coming from GEEK fam. However, you have to be very of the Lunox pickup here.
That's right.
From them.
And looking into how things are going to go for both teams, I do think that Minotaur is one of these heroes that might just be contested here because you mentioned about the Guinevere, and what pairs really well with Guinevere is all these knockups coming in.
Yeah,
so
Minotaur, Cho.
Yeah, and both teams actually can play a really respectable Minotaur. And for GEEK fans, they really have to protect leagues, and that's one of their
priorities.
Make sure that the carry stays alive, and they try to actually fend them off. And maybe that's just the key for them to go ahead to pick up a couple of wins.
Right, now we are down into the draft. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for that insight. We're going to be checking out the bans and picks. We don't have to guess anymore. We can actually see what's happening. I'm actually really expecting to see some exciting drafts, you know, out of these teams.
Your team is
we saw that a couple of times yesterday.
Yeah, BIGETRON had huge success with the Hellcurt pick here yesterday. In game
Your
number
team
2 against,
is banned.
I think it was Nara, yeah. So it was a huge factor and it's super annoying to deal with. However, what I really want to see is something different where they might actually ban off the first pick Esmeralda and let go maybe Diggy or maybe even purposely let go Diggy and Esmeralda at the same time where you use Esmeralda to deal with the
Your
Diggy.
team
So
is
as much as I
banned.
say from GEEK fans actually ban off the Guinevere, we've seen BIGETRON just stop individual with the Guinevere on yesterday's match itself.
And the Grok ban as well, I think. Yesterday we didn't see a lot of Grok bans though.
Your team
Yeah,
is
and we
picking.
usually see Grok being picked instead of banned, but now that they do remove that from play, there's a lot of things on the table. If they really want to go for the marksman first, Fix can actually pick it up for himself. So this is going to be kind of tough. You also have Harif on the line, and also Lunox, so it's really up for grabs, but instead they will go in with the playmaking Chow here. Of course, Way of the Dragon is one of the most effective ultimates in the game, where you can just display. So, one attack. Favorite. Going in with Nox
Your
and Cloud,
team
all
is
predicted
picking.
there.
Wow.
Cleanly.
Very standard picks here coming from BIGETRON SG. Lunox and Cloud, very strong heroes in the current meta as of now. But I would like to see how GEEK fam actually executes it. Like, you can see, the thing about Cho's versatility is you can play fighter, you can play tank, you can, in terms of combo as well as synergy, you can actually combos with, let's say, a Hellcurt to actually split push, but Hellcurt is bad, of course. Selena is amazing as well. The Way of the Dragon setup for the arrow is just long duration controls here. Without Purify, you're pretty much dead. But Diggy is actually still in the pool, which is quite surprising for me. But looks like they will pick up the Minotaur as well as the Leomon. This might be actually a tag Cho here coming from GEEK fam.
Well, I do think that the Cho could actually go somewhat of fighter sort of build because you have so many of these frontliners that can actually sustain well by themselves. So Akai will try to push them all away and of course create a little bit space for the Lunox as well as the Cloud to actually make a move into the backline. But looking into this, GEEK fam needs a lot of bursty heroes on their side to actually stop all these carries from the side of BIGETRON. And they have to be really careful of Mystical as well as KCP. Do you know that KCP, as a support or tank, he does not actually falter in most of these fights. So this is the thing that's scary for them. So I would say that as much as he's selfless, he knows how to take care of himself really well. So he's really annoying. Now looking into the bans, it's a Tamus as well as a Rafaela. Now, what do you think about the Rafaela ban? Because I felt like it's not really that necessary, but I think there's some tricks up their sleeves.
Well, in all honesty, I see like GEEK fam, you know, they banned Tamus because of the BIGETRON SG, but okay, Diggy being picked up here is super hard to deal with from the start of Game 5. However, they have the option of taking the Esmeralda for themselves. It's really good against the time journey here with the additional shield. It really helps Esmeralda along throughout the drawn-out fights here. So I'm looking forward to seeing Zilong.
Don't take us here, Geek Fam.
Don't troll us.
They always do the same. Oh man, like the minus. We see him play a really good Esmeralda, as you say, but things like Gushing can really work well for them. And even if they want to go for other stuff, it is going to be great.
You have
oh
to
my, is it going to be Hayabusa?
Whoa.
And you mentioned it, Esmeralda's taken.
Yeah, it has to be picked. Like, this is the only thing that I can think of that actually counters off Diggy, because he provides shield, he provides so much more ability. If they back off good for us, you know, just wait out the time journey, we reset the fight. And Esmeralda has relatively short cooldown duration, even the moment you give him a buff.
Definitely. Now we have one last pick coming in from the side of BIGETRON.
Now, this is going to be tricky here. They've already got the marksman in, they've got the mage. So they need someone as the front line. Lapu Lapa will be brought out for the first time in the playoffs round. So this is going to be really exciting. They do have a lot of good damage dealing coming from the side of BIGETRON. And I do think that their lineup is going to be really consistent from the start all the way to late game, because they definitely can scale up. And towards the late game, that's where they shine the most.
Wow, I really like this Lapu Lapu pick here. Like, it's really strong to actually sustain his fights, because you know Esmeralda kind of needs to fight as long as possible. But I'm definitely looking forward to how they actually play this. Like, it's pretty straight cut here from Geek Fam. They're going to play the 4-1 strat, leave the higher split pushing all the way to the sides here, and then potentially go in for the follow-up kill.
Definitely.
But what makes Geek Fam so strong is the double tank straight-up as well as the Esmeralda.
Man, oh man, I can't wait. And I bet everybody down here at Sunway Pyramid can help. So I need everybody to hype it up for our teams. It is going to be Geek Fam going up against BIGETRON SG. Are you ready?
5 seconds till the enemy reaches
Terrence,
the
Contra,
battlefield.
this is now yours. Take it away.
And this is going to be a first game of the day. This is Geek Fam versus BIGETRON SG, the Singapore Slayers against the very on-form BIGETRON. They are looking to actually get themselves back into the grand finals itself. Geek Fam, the only hope left for Malaysia. They are playing in the upper brackets. Nobody from either side of the team wants to actually slip away. As you can see, a really good start coming in from the side of BIGETRON right now.
Very aggressive push here coming from Geek Fam, cutting off the creep wave down bottom lane, maybe potentially try and steal off the buff right off the bat, because they know if Sync actually has an early buff, this is going to be disastrous here. However, looks like Geek Fam is not going to be doing that. BIGETRON is going to be focusing on the buff. However, nicely cheeky play here. Geek Fam actually stealing off the small camps on the sides here.
Well, it shouldn't be too much of an issue for the side of BIGETRON, just losing one small camp out of many, as the buff is still intact on their side. They will immediately go for the river trap though, so one of these guys here will definitely get the advantage, and it's going to be Sync there. The extra goal is definitely going to help them out. Meanwhile, Mr. V does spot them out. Biggie does have all these bombs heading towards the side of Arts, and so this is going to poke his health for a little bit. As you can see, he's forced to actually expend some of these shields just to keep himself really safe.
However, Geek Fam, they do have a slightly in terms of a little bit of economy because of the stolen crab here. But look at this, Geek Fam, they are trying to contest this here. BIGETRON, they've grabbed it up for here. Mr. V, who almost calling for the recall there, but Zon taking too much damage. Joining the party, 5 people, Jason Cole.
My goodness. That seems like a really big blunder coming in from Geek Fam. They moved in towards all 3 men from the side of BIGETRON, and of course, they were forced to retreat, and the flicker has been expended already. So Zorn was the first one to fall, but it is still really early in the game. It's only going to be a 300 goal advantage headed towards the side of BIGETRON. But now we see Ajax looking for Jason.
He's going to be fine for now. However, BIGETRON, very quick rotation up towards mid here. Now, they are thinking of rotating down bottom here. They might consider challenging against Jabs here. Jabs, he doesn't have the 4. Jason Cole with the
nice
kill straight. Connects on 2, taking too much damage. However, Lunox gets a kill. They're looking for more here. Zol going to be joining the party. Way of the Dragon shuts him down. Diggy gets taken down. Singsley pops off the Brilliance. Can he survive this? I don't think he can. He's going to be but the Akai Hurricane does. Loads him up. Pushes down. Saves the day. And Jason Cole wants to look for more, but instead pays with his life. Jeff gets shut down by Sync with a right click for himself with the darkness, but dominant with the falling Star Moon.
That was
counter kill.
That was insane. I didn't expect that sort of burst coming in from the minus just like that. And now, immediately after that fight, they go in for the first turtle of today. Over on the top side, we see Arts still somewhat trying to survive against this 2v1. But let's talk about the fight once again. It was a back and forth, and now this is going to be a knockout. We have a dragon in
again. Now catching up to KZB. He's going to get shut down here. GEEK Fam takes another one here. And that's the power of dominance. Esmeralda, that fight down bottom lane, because of the buff, he's able to reset the fight 3 times in a row. But now, with the turtle buff, they are taking goal a little bit more aggressive coming from GEEK Fam. Sana in some trouble. Force the problem to bring it away.
It's a setup!
Waiting for him. Mega kill for Dominus.
That was a genius move coming in from GEEK Fam. You can see how they just plotted out. Phantom Steed will try to force the clock to back away. The moment he jumps back, he meets all 3 members of GEEK Fam, and they just catch them just like that. And now Zorn looking for another advantage over the top side. They may just bump into them once again.
The bush trap. Dominus doesn't have the buff, doesn't have the mana. He needs to be careful. GEEK Fam looks like they're going aggression. They force the time journey here. Mystery will back off Flicker as well. And it looks like GEEK Fam will reset this fight. They know Dominus cannot challenge it. Despite having the buff, they need the blue buff out on towards Dominus now.
And early into the 4th minute of the game, we've already seen 9 kills already.
Wow.
You know this is going to be a bloodfest coming in from both sides. And Dominus now just scaling and scaling. 4 kills already in this Esmeralda, and
Not
like
just 4 kills, man. Like, the Calamity Reaper is up as well. He's gonna do so much damage with the turtle buff. But for now, 30 seconds before the turtle buff expired, GEEK Fam is looking to make an engagement down mid here. However, BIGETRON, they are already waiting for this here. Zorn goes for the rear dragon, the time to attack, and he can get ZP. But now he's being forced to hurricane that Jeff is gonna get tested up. He's gonna be so tanky, but instead Dominus gets the kill, finishes the deal with the turtle buff. And now they might consider taking onto a Jason Cole as well. Surprise, surprise, Jason Cole, be careful. But the Rage misses right now. Mr. with the time journey. Jeff will pay with his life. And however, big with the shadow kill. Jason Cole is down. Dominus.
oh man, that was a big fight coming in, but Sana does not want to let him up. Here comes Mr. V, just giving him a little bit of room to breathe. The man still going on a chase, but looking at both of these teams, it's just neck and neck right now. Only 2,000 goals separates them, but GEEK Fam finding advantage after advantage. Bit of the Heptasis is out for the side of Beast. So early into the game, this is just going to be hard for the side of BIGETRON because they've already got the momentum, and with that momentum being said, this is going to be another turtle attempt coming in.
Sword playing the aggressive plays here, picking up the Curse Helmet here to try and deal with 60 because of the magic resistance as well as the burning effects coming in from him. But look at this, Dominus stacking his shield here, soloing the turtle all by himself now. He's gonna hit like a truck now. Oh man. Sword, he's all by himself, but he's gonna be okay. GEEK Fam, the Sword as well as Fix is gonna be very, very mobile in this. They want to go for KCP. Here comes the stun. Where's the knockout? But Lunox has showed himself in the bottom lane. However, top side, they want to go for Sana again, but looks like Sana will be focusing on clearing out the waves instead.
And of course, looking into this, they want to secure the top side tower, but they know that the rotation is incoming. So BIGETRON SG giving a little bit of a great movement there to actually fend off the side of GEEK Fam. Now, every one of them will go on a reset here for the time being. They know that they need all these resources before going into the next fight. I do wish that we can see the items as to see how much of a power spike they get. Look at Sync. He just purchased a Thunder... Lightning Trunkin in his hands, so he can actually dish out a lot in these team fights, and they are looking to secure mid lane.
Dominus with the falling side, catches them all. Mr. V pops the time journey, but the shield, he's making him strong. Dominus gets pushed back with the Hurricane, but eventually gets taken out by KZP. Nice lockdown there, but GEEK Fam, they're looking very strong. Oh, the minion fairy from Jeff catches on the tree. It's a wipeout, but the last one standing there is dead. Eventually gets taken down by Figs. With the shadow kill, they're all dead!
And now, Jeff, the captain of GEEK Fam, looking real good, looking to secure another tower. It's only going to Mr. V, but what can he do? This support does not have enough damage. They will secure this one and back away and look for the turtle.
Oh no, that was a disaster here coming from BIGETRON SG here. They had a great start, however, the aggression from GEEK Fam, they have no answer to this Esmeralda. like the Lapu Lapu is kind of nice, it's kind of great in terms of team fights here, but he needs a couple more items before he can actually scale into challenge Esmeralda. But I don't think it's going to be enough.
Turtle
Considering that he up
resurrecting
on him as
soon.
well.
Yeah, and of course, now that he has concentrated energy and the Reaper in hand, it's going to be really tough, and Feeks has already begun challenging the Turtle all by himself with the Guardian Minotaur just by the corner here.
Yes.
Jab spots out KZP, but the rest of Bigetron hasn't been going in for a challenge as of yet. They know that Geek Fam is already well guarding that side, and this will be all 3 turtles in the hands of Geek Fam.
Oh, this time very smart here from Geek Fam. They know there's no buff from Dominus. There's no point giving him turtle buff. However, they've switched it up by giving it to Fix. Very smart strategy here coming from Geek Fam. Look at top side here. Ars is waiting for the right moment to actually go for the split push potential. He does scout out Sana. He wants to set things up for a team, but look at bottom side instead.
Yeah. And you can see it's
onto
only
Jason Cole again. They know Jason Cole is the main damage dealer here. Now,
look at
can they
Zorn.
go for it?
Flicker coming out from the side of Jason Cole. He knows that he has to give this one away, and immediately they crush down that tower. And that's looking for Minute Fury.
No, they bait out the time journey here. Dominus looking for right moment here, but Jason Cole misses the Chieftain's Rage here. Looks like Geek Fam will retreat and reset for the minions, Minotaur form, as well as the Jason Cole's Chieftain's Rage buff.
Yeah, and you can see that from the side of Sync, he already used the Brilliance, so they have to just wait it out for now. And Geek Fam this time is actually forcing Bigetron on the retreat every time. We don't see this that much coming from Bigetron, and now they do know that they have to challenge this, because in 1 minute later, this is going to be the Lord coming out, and they cannot let this one go in the hands of Geek Fam, or else they'll be in deep danger.
Oh, this is going to be a tough battle here for Bigetron actually. They need a couple more items before they can actually do this here. But Zorn keeping the aggression. He's not afraid. He has the immortality. He's trying to bait Bigetron into a trap here. You can see Geek Fam is waiting in the bush here. Jabs is already charged up.
And they are trying to buy some time for the Hayabusa over bot side. As you can see, Zorn moving in and out. Here comes the minus.
Dominus with the falling side, catches on the 4. He's going to zone them out, but Jason got us all by himself. And Zorn gets pushed up from the tower, gets taken down. They want more. Look at this Dominus waiting for the right moment as well. He has the falling side, but KZP, the Hurricane does shut him down. Can he survive? The tower almost finishing him.
Resurrecting soon.
KZP! He's still alive!
And yes, KZP somehow survives that here despite Bigetron just baiting him all by himself. But Dominus resettled his HP. He's got the spike.
Oh, they gotta back away. They gotta back away. They're really low. They should not challenge this. And all 5 members, I would say 4 members, on the side of Bigetron is ready. Look at Fix though. One man show.
They're trying to buy time for Fix. He still has the turtle buff, so it's gonna be quick launch here potentially.
Arcs already got that Endless Battle in hand, and now all of them will converge into Lord. This is an easy peasy Lord, and Geek Fam will secure this one in hand. And now flickering for 5.
Dominus gets shut down, but Hurricane does misses on the Dominus. They catch Jab.
Here comes Fix.
Go down. He has the immortal, but Fix, Dominus, they join the party. Artis go, a triple kill for him. Wipes the floor.
Sana's trying to bend him off.
The opportunity.
Blazing Duet.
They want to go for raw. Sana taking 2 double damage, but the return kill here. And 1 more HP. Dominus. Oh, that was a close one.
They're chasing Jason Cole, and now they find him. He cannot back away. Fix is driven by some time.
Jason
What
Cole,
can they do?
you're alone. What are you doing? Hello, hello. Big shadow kill. Jason Cole, you're dead. Mega kill for him. Blade of Despair as well as a pickup.
Look at the Lord is marching in towards the mid side, but Esmeralda is all by herself. The rest of Bigetron is shaking right now as they are forced to defend the mid lane. And now they're going in for 5.
They take down Diggy, and Jab gets pinned off. They lose the tag here from Geek Fam, but they are still strong. They killed off Jab. The Lord's still standing, but looks like Geek Fam, they will back off and focus on the objectives here.
The tower.
They want this Bigetron. This is it. They want to challenge his Dominus. He's got half a shield here.
And all the line of defense has been broken down. This is going to be Geek Fam exposing the whole base. And Bigetron, for the first time in a long time, they have never been pushed around just like this. And Geek Fam, the Malaysian favorites, having all the crowd cheer for them as their 6th man.
Esmeralda, Divine Glaive as well, and not to mention Esmeralda is always going to have his HP maxed up, so he's going to always get that unique passive of 17% magic penetration. Is one of the highest penetration item, which is kind of broken for me, which is I don't know, on this hero is ridiculously strong.
Yeah, and you know that they've already got all the winning criteria in hand. And just look at the stats right now. 8 kills on Esmeralda, as well as Leomord. Actually, the Leomord Arts is actually creating so much space for them. And this split push comp has just been so effective from the side of GeekFam, and BIGETRON does not really have a proper reply to this. Yes, Sync has been dishing out the most damage from the side of BIGETRON, but they need it a little bit more. The Lapu Lapu still needs a little bit more time. Yes, they do have the Endless Battle, they do have the Flawless Axe, but they need to actually stall this game out, but they don't really have that much time left.
Yeah, they don't have enough damage up on Jason Cole yet. However, he's going to go a little bit defensive here, getting the immortality up on himself. Maybe he can buy a little bit more time for his team to go for a setup. But right now, Sync, he needs to make some kind of plays here for BIGETRON FC, because now GeekFam is just pushing them around. They're waiting for a right moment where they mess up here.
Yeah, you can see that they are all just being forced to stay inside. There's just no way that they can actually exit until they clear out all these waves. We do have 1 minute till we see the second Lord, and maybe this might just push BIGETRON out. But with that being said, you can see that there are so many of these members from GeekFam that can actually set up a proper split push. They don't have to send all 4 people or 5 people into the Lord pit. So if they do battle it out, BIGETRON still has to send somebody to actually defend the base.
Oh, no.
And that might just be a situation for the side of BIGETRON to actually worry about.
Mr. V just finally getting the Clock of Destiny a little bit late in terms of timing here, so they need to drag this out from side of BIGETRON SG if they want to stand a chance for this Diggy to come up online in terms of damage up with the alarm bombs here. However, GeekFam looks like they're not giving them any breather right now. They're taking off the objectives, starving off BIGETRON SG as much as they can and snowball their way towards their economy here. GeekFam is drawing this game very long here, but look at this.
Look at Thor just buying a little bit more time. So much of a distraction coming up from the side of GeekFam. Of course, we see Lord number 2 on the way. And hello, Hayabusa will greet the Lord as he will try to fight off the giant. And Zorn already challenging Jason Code. Jason Code with his Lapu Lapu, shredding his health really quickly right now.
No,
KCP damaging him to 50%. And now he's going to go in, marching in. He just buys more and more time to actually finish the Lord.
He doesn't care because he's so mobile as a tank, and he can just be in the front lines here, just try and buy time as much as possible. GeekFam and BIGETRON, they cannot go out of the way because of this. And now immortality on Dominus as well. He's going to be even more tank here. It's harder to kill him even more now.
I don't think that they should even focus on Esmeralda at this point, ours, because there's just so much of these skills that you need to actually pull out to actually remove her from play. And now that having that immortality on hand, is just no way of killing that Esmeralda. They have to take care of everyone else, especially Feeks and Arts, because Arts has been ignored most of the time. Now they're just waiting for that Lord to march into the mid lane. And
he
Thor
wants this
for a creation of space, almost kicking in one of the pandas there.
Yes, that was a close call there from BIGETRON SG. However, GeekFam here, I really like the immortality pick up on Dominus here, because like if he dies, he comes back online. The lifesteal is going to be able to keep him alive, but the Lord is going to be knocking on the crystal now.
Be the final fight.
SG, this is going to be the final fight. KZB shuts him down. Dominus is the first one to take it down, but immortality stays alive. But the time journey, but Dominus is alive. He wants to finish him up. Eventually gets taken down, but the Lord is knocking on the crystal.
It's not over yet.
Jason Cole, he's doing so much damage, but the Lord finishes off the crystal. GeekFam takes game number 1.
What a beautiful showing from the Malaysian side. As you can see, BIGETRON now getting 1 game down, and it looks like they are on their perfect form today.
Man, it looks like the Diggy is just not enough.
Oh, that's the thing. That's the only way I can think of that counters off the Diggy is definitely the Esmeralda. And you can see as soon as Dominus goes in with the falling Star Moon, he pops the Frostman Shield, just absorbs all the time journey's shield.
The thing is, it's not just Esmeralda, right? We had the Leomord. Arch was doing so well in that game, just bringing so much damage on the side. I mean, yes, Esmeralda was the main focus because she would just go in, stun everybody, but you got to give it to the entire team. I mean, the composition, Jep's Minotaur jumping in with a Minion Fury. Yes, sometimes Diggy was there to deflect that, but most of the time it worked out really, really well for these guys.
Yeah, and you can see how selfless Zorn and Jeps is. They just create so much room to actually set things up. They set the tempo, and of course, most of the time, Artist has been ignored, and with that being said, he can easily just go in and break up all the kills, and he never even dropped a single time in this game. So that was just amazing stuff coming in from GEEK.
You know, I'm just super duper excited because this is like an amazing game to start the playoffs with, and today we have so many games coming up. I just hope they're all like this.
Yeah, I definitely looking forward to it. And on top of that, you have to give credit to Zorn and Jabs as well. Reason being that Zorn is always buying time for Jabs to actually bait out the time journey. And you can see Jabs was playing very, very patient with his minion rage. As soon as they bait out the time journey, he goes in, pops the minion rage, and just wipes the floor with everyone, which is amazing to watch here coming from GEEK.
Now, since we have the highlights coming up, yeah, Contra, why don't you walk us through it?
Yeah, early into the game, we see Zorn trying to actually go in for a buff steal, but has to sacrifice for her life. But this is a moment where they sort of have this back and forth. They immediately go in, chasing over onto Mr. V, and Sync was the next one, trying to be focused down from the side of GEEK. But look at all these beautiful wind dance coming in from KZ time and time again. With that flicker, we did manage to actually seal off the kill as Esmeralda keeps snowballing from that point onwards with the shutdown on the Lapu Lapu.
Yeah, that bottom fight as well is amazing because it's a triple setup for a fight here. But what makes things interesting was that they actually rotated for this round from the back to actually wait out for Sana.
And Jabs, although he was pushed back, he did save the flicker, so he was safe in that situation. And a lot of times when they were going in for a fight, you can see BIGETRON did actually get a couple of good pickoffs there, but they did not manage to finish off the team members. And it's just so hard to deal with the Esmeralda. Like, all these shields are just so effective against all the other members there.
I mean, aside from the draft problem of Esmeralda not being banned, what else could they do, like BIGETRON and change these situations to counteract? Because from what it seems like, they were just playing against GEEK. They were not playing their own playstyle. These guys were just responding to whatever GEEK was given.
They were definitely responding in regards, but what made things interesting was that like, it's understandable why they wanted to go for the Lapu Lapu, because they know that GEEK is going to play a 4-1 strategy. It's the same for them. They want to counter off with a 4-1 strategy because they want to leave like a really strong fighter to go up against Esmeralda. However, Esmeralda is coming up online too far, and Lapu Lapu was just getting shut down from time after time again. They know how strong the Lapu Lapu is in terms of this physical team fights here, but if you slow down his farm, he's just nothing.
That's right.
Well, I do think that their composition is great, but they do take time to actually come online, and a lot of the times they could not even reach peaks in a good team fight, and that previous team fight itself, Peaks was just free to actually go in to execute the carries right there, and this was the time where the lock just came knocking in, and BIGETRON was just struggling to actually fend them off. There's just way too many minutes, and the first game was just sealed by GEEK just like that. And looking into this, well, I do think BIGETRON still has a lot on their table. They still haven't grabbed so their pocket picks into this, so it's not over till it's really over.
It's definitely not over. I mean, we're talking about a double elimination format. This is the best of 3, so we still have more games coming on. We're going to take a look at the MVP. It has to be Arts' Leomord. I mean, yes, we did talk about Esmeralda, Dominus, making a lot of plays, but Leomord just so much damage, 607.
Yeah, and it's so hard to actually fend him off. With the Phantom Steam at the right time, did you see the first execution over the top side where he actually baited the clock to jump back into 3 members of GEEK just like that? So it was just a really genius setup coming in from GEEK. It was a perfect team effort, and of course that gave a lot of room for Art, Beaks, as well as Dominus to actually carry, show a lot of these things that they can actually put out.
And it's not just about, I mean, the kills, right? You look at the target damage, so much objectives in terms of in this game, and we know that it really matters. And these guys were taking kills and objectives. They were focused, they knew what they want to do, and going into game 2, do you think they'll be coming up with the same sort of draft? I mean, they were going for the split push here with Hayabusa. Do you think we're going to see something similar, or no, they're just going to change it up, surprise BIGETRON once again?
It might actually happen here, but speaking of split push here, one thing really matters that we didn't talk too much about Arts, Leomord as well, because Diggy is really good at retreating because of the time journey. The Leomord catches up with the Phantom Steam from the sides as well, so it kind of counters off everything from the side of BIGETRON, and not to mention on 3 lanes, to pick off a Leomord, to pick off Esmeralda, and to pick off Hayabusa, who do you focus on? Because Diggy's time journey is a 5-man team fight. If you split this push here, it's hard to go for them.
Exactly. I don't think Diggy was that much influential in the previous game. We've seen Diggy one last time, I think,
Your
yesterday.
team is
It didn't
banned.
work out very well. We just have to wait and see what happens in the upcoming game. This is going to be the second game between BIGETRON SG and GEEK Fam. You guys just joined us. GEEK Fam took the first one for themselves.
Yes, and of course now that BIGETRON is on the blue side, you can see that they do have the potential to actually go into the first pick Chow, or even have that Minotaur in the hands of Mr. View, his signature pick coming in from seasons after seasons. But still, there's a lot of other picks that's really effective
team
coming
is
in.
banning.
Now we do see another Hellcat ban. What do you think of this Hellcat ban? We don't really see BIGETRON playing way too much of Hellcat, but when it's being picked up by some teams, it's really dangerous in
Your
anyone's
team
hands.
is banning.
And I like how BIGETRON actually is still letting the Esmeralda slide, but it's understandable why they banned Cho now. Like, we've known Zorn for making so much space and buying time for them to actually get those kind of farms.
Like
so it's
Feeks
amazing.
could just solo the whole Lord 2 times in a row, and there's just no room for them to even enter to the fight to challenge or contest for the Lord. So I think that this is going to be a different tempo of the game coming in for BIGETRON. And with that being said, this is going to be the last ban for the first phase. So what is it going to be?
It might be a Grok here.
Oh, like you said.
Your
We've
team
seen both
is
of these teams
picking.
with Grok yesterday, and it worked out really well for both of them.
Yeah, and I do think that it's really
Kaja.
vital, but with that being
Your
said,
team
Kaya
is
has been
picking.
opened up in the table as KZP secures this one for himself. With Feeks and Zorn getting 2 picks in a row, will they actually go in with something different? Maybe they might want to take the Claude, because we know Feeks
Claude
has
is
been
banned.
constant.
Claude has been
oh,
banned
yeah.
first ban.
Oh, totally
Yeah, you
forgot
can
about
see it
that.
from here.
But
I know.
Guinevere being hovered here, I do think that it is going to be a really good pick. Now, they could also stack it up with Akai right now.
Minotaur as well. would work.
Minotaur, it's
Akai.
still open on the table, so
Guinevere.
this is just going to be
Your team
something that
is
they're really
picking.
comfortable with coming in for the first two.
The best thing about GEEK Fam is that because of these 2 drafts, these 2 picks right here, they have still a versatility on how they're gonna play. They can put Dominus on the mid for the Guinevere, or they can even put Feeks up on towards the off lane as well to actually buy time, because we know how slippery and slimy Guinevere can go.
And now looking at this, I do think that from the side of BIGETRON, they can still pick up the Lunox over on the side for Sync. And now they just hover onto it. And with the Leomort being taken away,
Your
there
team
is
is
no
picking.
more Leomort for the side of Art. So that's a really good strategy to think about it. But over onto the next ban, they may just remove Tamus, because usually when they have Leomort on their side, they will try to get a more effective lane for him. And we know Tamus to be a really early game bully.
But I don't think GEEK Fam will actually pick the Tamus for himself. Like, we've seen them do successful. They are stronger in the split push potential. Tamus doesn't really split push that well.
Ooh.
Staying in the lane is fine, but sustain, I don't know. They might consider
Time.
going for it. Yeah, looks like they will.
Your
Sorry,
team
Yeah,
is
I
banning.
feel bad, but yeah.
Yeah, they have to actually pick it before it's being banned from the side of BIGETRON. Now, a lot of options still on the table. Maybe they may want to remove another hard
Your team
CC
is banning.
machine. And of course, with that being said, it's going to be Minotaur, because the Guinevere and Minotaur combo is way too deadly to keep them up in the air with the Violet Requiem, which, by the way, can keep them up to 6 seconds in the air.
That's right.
And
That's way too long.
I don't know. It feels like the only thing that shuts down BIGETRON's SG's draft is definitely the Diggy, but they have to want to compensate that, because the Diggy, the only job the Diggy's got to do is just cut off
Your
the
team
Divine Judgment,
is
and that's about
picking.
it.
And looking into the minus here, he can't possibly go in with...
Oh no, it's coming.
No, it's always.
It's
always.
Esmeralda.
Always
Oh, wait,
throwing
what?
Aldous?
What?
Nah, I don't think so. Please don't do this, my friend.
No.
But it's going to be really exciting to watch, though, if they do
No.
really lock into Aldous. But I feel like it's going to be hard for them to catch anyone, because you have the brilliance on the Lunox. And are you going to
Kufra.
actually out into this? Oh,
Your
Kufra!
team is
Okay,
picking.
this is actually pretty unique, because we see Kufra time and time again. This is one of the things that can actually provide the knockup for the Guinevere to combo into. So, really smart choice coming in, but in terms of execution, it has to be perfect.
Definitely. I mean, they switched it out instead of the Minotaur, right? They could have gone with the Minotaur early game, but they didn't. They went with Kufra. What, Terrence? You don't look really
Carry.
happy.
I love the Kufra. What are you talking about? I know we have 0% win rate so far, Kufra. Okay, maybe
Not really. The final
yesterday we had one
game, we
yeah,
do
final
have
game we
one
had
win.
game.
in the hands of
we had one game yesterday, but one thing I really like on the
wow.
versatility for Kufra is because
Your
like
team
it's sort of
is
like a mini Franco, mini Mincetar with
Right.
his Tyrant's rage there. So in this case here, GEEK Fam have so much placement disruption because of the Archive, because of the Kufra. They may open up a pathway in terms of team fights to break through BIGETRON's SG's draft here.
Now, I do actually have a concern for the side of GEEK Fam. Do they have enough damage, though, to actually take down all these frontliners?
Hayabusa.
You have the Kaya, you have Leomord, and with Balorix, it's going to be so hard to even threat them, and they're going to go for a second round Hayabusa.
Wow.
I'm not too sure about this, but I do like some of these picks coming in from the side of BIGETRON SG. Now, it's a lot of team fight sort of skirmish coming in from both sides, so it's really all down to the execution of this matchup here. But I would say, from the start to the end, I would somewhat prefer BIGETRON's lineup here.
In this
Sorry
game.
to say. Yeah.
Terrence, last minute predictions?
GEEK Fam.
GEEK Fam. All right, well, it is time to see what the crowd thinks about this next game. Guys, are you ready for the next match? It is going to be BIGETRON SG going up against GEEK Fam. Terrence, Contra, take it away.
Thank you, Faraz. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having BIGETRON SG going up against GEEK Fam in this
Round
series here.
number
But
two.
speaking of which, Contra, Baloric,
Mobile Legends.
We haven't seen him for a while, but
Yeah,
of course,
it's-
it's still a very
seconds till the
reliable
enemy
pick.
reaches the
Now,
battlefield.
into the game
Smash
2, we
them.
will see whether or not BIGETRON bites back
troops
and
deployed.
forces out a game 3, or GEEK Fam takes a solid 2-0 to advance into the grand finals of MPL Season 3.
and of course, I'm looking forward to see how Mr. V plays this year. Interesting pickup for him. He actually went for the Purify to actually force out, make sure that his Nature Shield is always out here. However, the problem with here is that BIGETRON, they need to bait out the Hurricane Dance as well as Zor's Tyrant's Rage before actually popping the Baloric Shield. So it's kind of defensive, but if they do play a little bit aggressive here, they might get punished heavily because of GEEK Fam, because of this disruption for position displacements here.
But look at
oh
the
no.
members of
Oh
the
no,
Too Easy for
Jets
Jets. Oh no!
Oh, nice knock up here from Kufra. He's gonna do a lot of damage here. Bouncing ball in there, catching on to 6, taking some trouble, taking out damage, but Zorn forced
at
to
Arts.
back off and say, but Arts with the sprint as well.
You can see all the early aggression coming in from the side of GEEK Fam, as none of them has fallen yet. A lot of flicker has been expended right now. It is still going to be a contest for the buff as Zorn tries to actually make a little bit more space, turns into a bouncing ball, secures the buff for the side of Phoenix.
KZP there was kind of scary in the start there from BIGETRON as he popped up the passive here, chained off the lightning, and just did so much damage. But look at this Zorn making the space again with the Kufra. He's gonna back off right now, but the bouncing ball will keep him alive. But looks like, oh no, the crab gets stolen by Jason Kaw instead.
That was a really slick move coming in from the Leomord, and now he will have a little bit of gold regeneration coming in on the side. But of course, it does take a little bit more coming in. Speaks. Oh man, that was nasty.
Well, if he had the 4, the Shadow Blade, the Shadow Kill would have just finished him then and there for Jason Kaw, but still, GEEK Fam trying to buy a little bit more time here, but BIGETRON is leading in terms of the economy as of now. GEEK Fam gonna play this a little bit slow. And one thing really nice about BIGETRON SG right now is that during the mid-fight here, they sort of bait out so much utilities and spells early on, which gives them this breeding room to farm so greedily.
Yeah, and immediately BIGETRON actually looking to siege down the bottom side. So this is good going for the side. In return, GEEK Fam will actually take away the turtle, but I will take a structure any day. Thank you very much, as BIGETRON does have a little bit of goal advantage here with 1,000 in hand.
And now, look at this. Now with the turtle buff here, Dominus, they want to make a play with Dominus as of now, but try and wait for the right moment. Jason Kaw still hiding in the bush as of now. They know something's up, but BIGETRON SG looks like they know something's up. They're gonna rotate up top here.
Gonna open the penalty.
They know that they're all there. Oh no, they catch on the tree. Hurricane does shut them down. Dominus has to back off instead. And Dominus will get chased off by KZP. And now Figs in some trouble as well with the Shadow Kill, but there's 4 people that's soaking so much damage. They are so low, but they are lacking in terms of hero. But what a game sense there from Jason Kaw.
He just have the 6th sense into his head, and he knows, hey guys, they are all inside of this bush, but Sig gets slammed to the wall. The rage coming
he wants
in.
to kill off Sing. The Brilliance, he
Can
doesn't
do
have
it.
time for the Brilliance.
Oh!
He doesn't have time for the Brilliance. And this is how you play a Kufra.
That was sick, and I do think that Sing could actually pull off a turnaround, but instead he just slams him to the wall with the Tyrant's Rage, and immediately destroy him just like that. As Jabs tries to secure a little bit of room, but KZP comes right in.
KZP, he's a little bit cheeky here, but he might actually get pinned in his life. But however, he's going to save for now. He's baiting this for the team. And BIGETRON SG are not taking the bait as of now. I want to buy a little bit more time for Sing. However, GEEK fam, they seem to be in better control now because of the Hurricane Dance.
I do think that BIGETRON now, they have their back against the wall, and they look really composed. Oh, Phantom Steed lands perfectly over on the side of Feeks, but he has so much mobility. He just say, you know what? If you're on your horse, I'm not going to chase you. You have more speed than I do. So he just backs away, and now Kufra is being sent towards the top side. How do you think they're going to deal with this?
Oh, Kufra, it clears with really quickly as a tank in this regards here, but the problem in GEEK fam right now is they are playing this a little bit slow because they do not want to challenge Mr. V's shield. They need to buy a little bit more items before he comes up online because Mr. V, the shield can be disastrous because of the passive spikes that is going to be doing a lot of damage here. And GEEK fam, they are fighters. They are damaged over time. They are not hardcore burst here. So he's going to pop a lot of shields here.
This is a trade.
Turtle.
This is going to be a tower for the Turtle right now. And I do think that this is going to be important, but over on the top side, we see Jason Ko.
But hold that thought, Dominus goes for a cheeky play, but the Turtle is going to be stolen from Sing. Sing will get a double kill with the Turtle buff, but on top, they do get a trade off towards the Leomord instead.
Later to have to seize into the hands of Feeks after winning that Leomord. Yes, and I thought that they could still fend him off, but he just went for the fight instead of securing the second tier, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for the side. As you can see, BIGETRON actually winning more in this situation, winning the team fight, getting the turtle, and now the mid lane as well.
And now Sink, he's out of control now, but he's going to try and bait out some kind of action here with the Brilliance, but Zorn is waiting for the right moment. As soon as he pops into the Dark Form, Sink, there we go. Instantly, insane reactions coming from Sink.
Now looking into the madness here, he won't be one of the players setting the tempo for the side of GEEK fam. But as it goes, as it progresses, look into the lineup of BIGETRON, and they will scale so hard, especially Sana. Sana may not have kills as of yet, but once they finish off all the golden staff and everything else, it's going to be so easy for them to shred out the Akai, the Kufra, and everyone from the side of GEEK fam. So they cannot drag this game really long.
It's super hard to fight for dominance right now as he needs the buff available before he actually challenges here. BIGETRON SG, they seem to have the upper hand as of now, but Jabs is waiting for a moment here. He knows
bottom lane.
He wants to go for bottom lane here. They will try to punish off Jason Call again. Looks like Jason Call. No, that's not again. But the Rage misses. Nice dodge here by Jason Call. But Jabs is waiting for him. Hurricane Dance there. Jason Call, he's dead. He's out. He's gone.
And now, with that being said, the Leomord goes down alongside with the turret. But over on the side of BIGETRON, you want to take the tower, we can return the favor. Over on the top side,
Sing.
They need to send one guy back. And now, it's going to be a setup from the side of GEEK fam.
BIGETRON, they want to fight this year. Sing does have the buff available, but it's just about faded off from the turtle buff. So BIGETRON, they will focus on the third turtle as of now. But looks like GEEK fam, they will focus down the bottom tier 2s instead. So objectives for trade-offs here, but they need to be quick because BIGETRON, they're rotating very quickly here. The tanks are zoning down towards the middle lane here. GEEK fam scouts this out, immediately calls for a retreat now.
This looks pretty bad. They are defending towards the bottom side, and they know they need to run because Kaya is on a take. And that flicker over on the Zorn.
KZP will catch off Zorn instead, but the killing spree goes into a Sing. BIGETRON, if GEEK fam left a little bit earlier, things would have been like slightly better for them.
Yeah, you know that every members of the GEEK fam, they just know that there is somebody just chasing all the way through. So Guinevere had the hunch, but there's just not much that was left in the hands of Zorn. With that flicker and Divine Judgment, it was easy for KCP to catch.
Now I've just realized 4 Purifies up on BIGETRON SG. And because of these 4 Purifies, it's so hard to catch off. No wonder the Hurricane Dust isn't picking off too much.
Exactly, and it's so difficult for the side of GEEK fam to catch anyone right now unless they go for a 1v1. That's why you see a constant push coming from Tamis as well as Hayabusa. Hayabusa is still doing a lot of dirty work here. As you can see, they are trying to get the top side, but GEEK fam does not want to let that one slip. They will try to guard off the Lord area right now.
Zorn getting what?
What was he doing there?
Oh no, he tried to buy a little bit of time, but that's the power of the turtle buff. If Sing did not have the turtle buff, he could not have gotten kill on Zorn. But now BIGETRON applying the pressure here. GEEK fam, They need to make some kind of plays here. Purifies are up.
Sending the Omo back.
Oh no, looks like they will back off.
Hayes joining the journey as well. Now he's looking for a room to cut across. They might want to go in for a setup, but instead Fix is going to go take away another buff. But BIGETRON is a little bit late to the party as they already crushed the tower, and they did not really get much in return because they pressured towards the mid side, but they do have the Lord control right now. They are just guarding by the coast, and it's going to be hard for GEEK fam to actually find an entry point to actually stop these guys' concentrated energy in the hands of Sing, and they will immediately start the lot right now. Could this be a setup? Could this be a bait? As GEEK fam has not much time left, they need to go in with a quick steal. Too easy for Japs just around the corner,
no,
and they're going
the
to pull it
Divine
out.
Judgment catches on the sword. The Tyrant saying he gets burned down.
my
Phantom
goodness.
sees it. The Battering Ultimate wipes the floor. BIGETRON, they wipe everyone on the run. However, Fix taking a tier 3 up sword. The Lord Arns. Oh no, but BIGETRON, they split all this fight here. But whoo,
That was a setup. That was insane. I don't know what to say, but GEEK fam had the master plan.
exactly, they stolen the Lord there. They somehow managed to defend against this here. BIGETRON SG, they have the upper hand, but GEEK fam seems to have the upper hand in terms of objectives now.
Yeah, and Sink, he actually goes straight towards the top side. They know that they need to remove this Lord before they go.
Oh, that's on for now. Zon gets caught out. The Tyrant gets an opposition. Dominus goes in for the wide direction.
no.
It's not going to be enough, but gets personal. But the Lord, why is he here? But the Lord gets taken down so quickly as well.
But look at Feeks, he's just making room time and time again. He is the playmaker for the side of GEEK fam, but every single time they fight, they lose out. This is already towards the mid game, and of course, this is just going to be BIGETRON scaling off the roof, and KCP looking to catch up with the Divine Judgment.
They catch Odds. Odds gets bursted down. 2VZ for Jet. Goes for Hurricane Dance, but the damage output for Sing. The power of Lunox too strong. Zord goes for the bouncy ball. Tyrant Stage by a little bit time. Flickers the back off away as well. Zord is all very low. Fix. He needs to be careful. Shadow Kill is there, but it's KZP. He has a Divine Judgment. No. Dominus goes for the setup, but no. Gets shut down. The Nature Shield keeps it alive, but KZP securing the kill. The power of the Nature Shield is starting to come up online here from BIGETRON SG. Zord, he wanted the Tyrant's Rage. The Tyrant's Rage. Can he go for the stab? No, he doesn't have the ultimate. He's dropping so low. They're dead. They're all gone. The Crystal gets taken down, and BIGETRON SG takes game number 2.
Scaling all the way in. Now into game 3 we go as BIGETRON takes game 2.
Man, oh man, I have so much to talk about with this game. I mean, it was beautiful. To be honest with you, right, GEEK fam had the right strategy in game. But it's just that in terms of draft, they couldn't team fight against BIGETRON. And BIGETRON, the 4 purifies?
Oh yeah.
Talk to me about that.
That is just a really good move coming in from BIGETRON. And just look at the lineup, you know, they want to bring the fight to GEEK fam. And from the side of GEEK fam, they were just trying to do as much push as they can. And towards the late game, you know that Hayabusa, if they all stack up together, there's no point with the OG Shadow Kill in the team fight. And it's going to be hard to even burst people down. So they do lack the damage scaling into the mid game. And that kind of made them suffer a little bit. But still, valiant effort coming in from the side of GEEK fam. But BIGETRON, a masterclass once again.
Like I was mentioning about the Hurricane Dance as well as the Kufra going for the placement page.
It's alright.
I know. I love
the Kufra performed really well though.
Yeah.
Really well, but it's just like...
it's just the 4 purifies is just messing things up. They're trying to, like, you can see BIGETRON SG is trying to bait this spells. The moment the spells is up, things go south.
This was amazing play coming in from Jason Cole. He had this hunch that someone's inside the bush, immediately calls out the Phantom Speed, and he just run down all these guys and managed to also finish off Feeks. And there we have it. Neo Mark just making all the plays happen alongside with the rest of BIGETRON, and Sink went in with that one-on-one versus Zon. This was quite a show here, as you can see. Sink could have almost turned this one around. It was just 2 hits to actually finish off the one right there.
Yeah, it was super hard to fight that fight as well because it was in the dark form and could not switch into light form to go for the brilliance. And not to mention, that's the power of Kufra. That's how you're supposed to play Kufra early on. You can solo kill everyone on your own because of the damage output coming in from the bouncing ball. However, in terms of team fights, he cannot be shut down.
This is the
this is
still
the best
coming
part.
in, but like with this still, all of them were dispositioned because they were trying to look for an escape, but BIGETRON managed to actually pick them up. But one thing I do want to highlight is that Zorn gets picked up way too much in all these situations here. So that creates so much space for BIGETRON to just punish Geek Fam time and time again. Let's look at this fight. They just managed to lead them, and even the Lord smelled the truth just like that.
They're gonna be honest with you, the Lord part, I really like that part because, you know, Geek Fam, the shot calling, you can see from the captain, everybody jumped in at the same time. They wanted to take that Lord, and Geeks was split pushing at the same time. Really, these guys had the right strategy. It's just that I think the draft was in favor of BIGETRON, and these guys were just stronger in terms of team fight, specifically that Purify, because when I talk to them, it helps them escape so many situations.
Like even if that fight there where we saw Lord die earlier, where he actually pulled Tyrant's Rage 3 people aside, where Dominance joined the fight, because there were 2 people who popped Purify, the Violent Record only collected into 1 instead of 3, which is kind of ridiculous, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and now that we do see 2 wins over on the blue side, I'm not sure how this last one is going to go, because you can see that they know how to read well, because every single objective is being traded. They get the towers, they will come in with Turtle as well as other form of ways, but looking into the MVP of this match, it is none other than Sync,
Without a doubt.
with the amazing Lunox plays.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's definitely the better player here. Like, you've seen how insane his reactions were. Instantly, they try to go for it, and Brilliance backs off. He wants to go for it, and he has a turtle buff. He just goes for aggression. He punishes Zorn so many times as well. So he's just doing all this minor plays here. But the best part about BIGETRON SG is that because they understood the draft they were coming from Geek Fam, they made the call to get the 4 Purifies. That's the key point for them.
I mean, you can see that from the draft, they were ready, they were prepared, they were like, you know what, you can pick whatever you want, and we sort of know how to go against you. And these guys knew what to do. Now, the thing is, we only have 1 more game left in this matchup, but it's all right, this is still the upper brackets. That means if the team loses, don't worry, you'll still be going to down the lower brackets, so there's still time for both of these teams. But I mean, who wants to go down to the lower brackets, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to stay up, they want to move on to the grand finals.
You know, just one game to determine who goes to the grand finals, and of course nobody wants to face defeat coming into the lower bracket. You know it's going to be tough because it's either going to be EVOS or Resurgence, and both of these guys have been into the grand finals before. Meanwhile, Geek Fam has never stepped up into the grand final stage, so maybe this might be their chance to actually be going into the grand finals and perhaps lift the throne for Malaysia. But still, you have basically 75% chance for Singapore to take the throne.
That is right. We have, if you guys just tuned in, we have 3 Singaporean teams in the matchups left out and 1 Malaysian team, that is Geek Fam. Now, this is our first matchup of the day. We're down here at Sunway Pyramid, LG2 Concourse. If you guys are watching at home, make sure you come down here. Guys, we have a lot of stuff happening, right?
Like, this is what I'm talking about. I don't like the Tamil speak on Japan. Like, for real. Like, if that was a Hanzo pick, it would be different in terms of split push potential. But the aggression coming from BIGETRON was insane. I was expecting the Belleric to actually fall off. I was expecting the Belleric to actually fall off, but it actually did pretty well into the Nature's Shield. They were just providing so much damage reduction for the entire team.
I think it was a really brilliant pick coming in with the Belleric because they've already got all the lockdowns going. They've got enough damage to actually burst people down. From the side of Geek Fam, I think when the draft came up, I just can see one problem is that they don't have enough damage to actually sustain a long extended fight. Yeah. They do have a little bit of a pick-off potential. They may take 1 or 2 members down, but they may not be able to finish him up. Once some of these carries actually fall down, it is going to be really, really difficult. So down to game 3 we go.
Now, let's talk about KZB's Kaja right there, right? Yeah. I mean, it was sort of slipping out of the bans over there. He picked it up and he helped them out so much. So many hiccups from the side of Kaja. So, do you think we should ban him again? I think it's ban-worthy. So
I think they should ban the Kaya. And remember that when they were facing Nara had the same problem. They could not deal with the pickoffs coming in from the Kaya once again. His flicker into the Divine Judgment was so punishing that every single time that he managed to get a pull, some of the members of BIGETRON has already gotten ready to actually finish off that kill. But now here we go into the final game of this series, and it's going to be Geek Fam on the blue side, BIGETRON SG on red.
And Hellcurt ban. We see it at every game now.
Yeah. It's going to be perma ban for now, but of course that Kaya ban is something that we have to ponder about.
Yeah, they have definitely worry about the Kaja brand here coming on Geek Fam. But Geek Fam, like, it's nice to see how they're playing here, but I would like to see that Esmeralda a little bit more. Like the Guinevere.
Definitely.
Yeah. The Guinevere was kind of working out, but they just couldn't find the right moment. I think earlier on in draft number 2 as well, we did mention you have to ban the Minotaur. At the moment the Minotaur got banned here, it was so hard for Dominus to actually set up. And not to mention the 4 Purifies is ridiculous plays here. In fact, they might consider switching this up a little bit more
Your
here.
team
but it looks
is
like they will
banning.
ban off the Guinevere from the side of GeekFam instead.
Whoa.
Iron
Your
being
team
opened
is
up. There's
picking.
also Esmeralda on the table. So many things on the line. Even the Grok is
Grok,
up.
yeah.
So everything's up for the taking, I would say. Now, Geeks have a really hard decision on his hands because there's just so many options for him. Cho, maybe?
Yep.
In the tour, even. And it goes that
Grok.
as a timing, but they will go in
Your
with Grok.
team
Jeb's
is
Grok, man.
picking.
I mean, he's remarkable on the Grok. We've seen him time and time again in the previous seasons as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so good. He creates so many
Cho
conditions.
Kaja.
Oh wow.
And wow, that was
Your
very
team
quick.
Solid pickups
Picking.
here. Now, you know that with this in hand, they possibly need something to actually neutralize the hard crowd control. And now that they have the Guinevere removed, at least they have a little bit of breather. But maybe they might want to take the Archive. We do see Zorn on the Archive in a couple of rounds in the regular season. He is pretty reliable, but I'm not so sure about this because last game, the Purifies was just so intense that he could not do much. But Hayabusa, again, do they have to lock this in so early?
Badang.
Oh.
Bada's coming into play, everybody.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay, this is smart because they know that the Esmeralda is open, and they might just want to pick the bottom
Palms.
so that they did not
Your team
actually
is
get
banning.
their hands into getting that Esmeralda pick over onto BIGETRON, or else you could just shred the armor also.
Yeah, I had a quick chat with Fix yesterday in the middle of the night where he actually mentioned, I asked him the question, have you ever played Badang support in your previous games before coming to the game? He said, yes, it works. Because the damage output has been buffed significantly for Badang, where you don't even need Assassin
Your
Emblems, you don't
team
need Fighter
is
Emblems, where
banning.
the support emblem
Look
is
at this.
just enough because of the power physical damage spike there.
Right.
Lunox being banned away. Now, Sync does not have a signature Lunox right now, so he is forced to play something else. He is really good on that Khadija, though, so maybe they may want to
Your
go for
team
that,
is
but
picking.
Esmeralda is being a little bit...
Kufra pick on GeekFam again, where the walls, the Tyrant's Reach to set up with Badang is like a
Harris.
whole place
my.
where he locks down
Team is
everyone,
picking.
so it's really nice here. And not to mention, the Kufra actually shuts down Harif's mobility,
Now-
if
now-
they actually go for it.
I do love the Hera pickup here because without Esmeralda, you cannot steal the shield away from him. So he's going to be pretty huge coming into the team fight.
Selena.
Selena coming
Yeah,
in.
we're gonna
They
see
want
this.
to make sure they get all these setups done. And immediately with the pistol arrow, if it hits onto any members of BIGETRON, they will immediately look for the target and try to destroy him. But now, final pick, what could it be? Harley?
We've seen Harley yesterday.
Harley.
Okay.
Your
What do you guys
team
think about the
is
Harley?
Picking.
I like the Harley. I see a lot of birds coming in from GeekFam, but once again, this is going to be quite a struggle for them towards the late game.
Yeah.
So they're bagging everything into the early phases of the game, and I don't know, like GeekFam, they do have really good win rates on the blue side, and usually
Yeah,
they
they
will
need a
rotate
tank here.
inside of the jungle, cutting across towards the opposite
wait,
side
what?
through the middle tower.
Wait, they're gonna go
Fusion.
Kaja and also Cho
Ooh,
support tanks
wow.
here. Not the best support tanks here, not super tanky. Compared to Grok here, Grok is just gonna go bananas here for me.
Well, I do see a very reliable front lines coming in from the side of BIGETRON. So I would say that they do have enough damage to actually fight people off, even from the early stages as well. So, man, this is really a 50-50 for me. I don't know what to decide here.
No, I'm definitely looking forward to the Badang Grok. You gotta give that hype train. Like, the Badang Grok is just so much damage.
I
It's
want to
crazy.
see if that works
It's crazy.
again.
It's crazy.
Now, Terrence, are you ready to hype up the crowd yourself?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all age, Geek Fam versus BIGETRON SG. Game number 3!
This is going to be the final match between the two teams as they will head into the grand finals with this one victory, and one of them will be
Welcome
knocked down
to
to a
Mobile
lower
Legends.
bracket. Here we go. Game 3 will
5
start
seconds
right
till
now,
the
and
enemy
we go
reaches the
into a
battlefield.
pause. Oh man,
Smash.
we hyped it all out,
Yeah,
but
for
of
us.
course, we'll
I'm
take a
still
little
here,
bit
guys.
short
Don't worry.
How are you?
pause.
So, we were talking about
Bye.
No, don't leave me. I'm still around. we can talk about the game for a little while. Don't
Okay,
worry.
fine.
Yeah. So you guys were talking about the draft. Let's go back into it. What do you guys think about the bottom pick? We've seen it yesterday. Now, yes, you told me that you had a midnight talk with romantic talk with Peaks over there about Badang, and you said that he said it works, right? But I mean, BIGETRON sort of knows what they're going for right now. They know what kind of playstyle they're going to bring because they've seen it yesterday, and I'm sure these guys definitely went back home last night, analyzed everything. Do you think that's going to be a bit of an issue because they've already pulled this out once? But are they going to be able to pull it out once again? Because it's not really a surprise anymore.
Yeah, it is a really good question because they do have the Cho, and you know that it's kind of easy for him to just send some of these members flying back into the side of BIGETRON. And I would say that they could still stop the Badang, but there's still a lot more other bursted heroes from the side of GEEK Fam to actually pull something off. So it's still going to be really, really tricky as all of the side of the GEEK Fam members are really, really low this time.
Yeah. Okay, basically towards the Badang and the Gronk, it's understandable that seeing from game number 2, GEEK Fam, they wanted to play the displacement strategy.
Right.
But this game, because of the Purify, they were messed up. But this time, if BIGETRON goes for the Purify strategy again, it's not going to work because the walls are going to shut you down. You have to flicker away. So it's a different kind of approach of playing that playstyle. But this gives a little bit more reading for GEEK Fam to actually play around it. So it's definitely a nice one for me. The damage output from the Fizz Crack is going to be amazing. I think just now during drafts, I was wondering, hey, what if you play an Inspired Fizz Crack where it just does way much more damage, but you don't have mobility. You forsake mobility. And I think yesterday as well, the Badang Fizz Crack was really insane because you pop, the AO is really big and you can flicker it as well, kind of like an OZ flickering into a team fight here. So it's actually extended throughout the entire fight. So its overall damage output is great, but BIGETRON, as you need to figure out how they're going to work around this Badang. Do they shut down? Do they prioritize zoning the Badang, or they prioritize zoning the Harley? That's going to be a huge factor for them now.
But I do see that there's going to be quite a number of split pushes coming in from the side of GEEK Fam, and I think that BIGETRON has already learned how to actually handle the situation really well from the previous win that they do have. Like
are you sure? Did they handle it really well though? I mean, their base start was
I think
down.
so. I mean, they did have a couple of towers get. Now, I'm talking about game 2 because game number 1 it was a little bit shaky for them, but game 2 they know that they can somewhat ignore Feeks and they try to just force fights, bring the attention back towards defending their own towers from the side of GEEK Fam, and this can still happen time and time again. And now we can see how they possibly can set this fight here, and it is definitely all up to the Cho's hand here because he's the one to set the pace, just like how Zorn did in game 1.
Definitely. I think that with Peaks, he's super slippery. In many games, we've seen him split push, and sometimes people forget about him. Luckily here, Jason was there. Recalled back to the base in the last game, managed to save it in time for the team to, finish for victory. But going up against Harley this time around, what do you guys think about a Harley pick? Because we weren't sure if Harley's going to be picked up. We had Kadita in one of the games previously yesterday. What do you guys think about the Harley? We've seen him, I think, once or twice yesterday.
Yeah, I do think that Feeks do play a pretty good Harley back in the days, and of course some of these members they do pass the hero around a couple of times, but I do think that it is a good switch up as compared to the Hayabusa. Still, they do have that in their composition, which is kind of interesting to see because we haven't seen that much of a double sort of spin or assassin. Double assassin coming into such an important round. Right. Usually it's being brought by side of Reborn, but even Reborn hasn't done it in a while.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, I'm a bit curious to see how BIGETRON is going to play against this because, like, Harley is a little bit annoying and a little bit mobile to catch it. Like, usually we'll have, like, the higher buzzer to go for a cut. Shadow Kill is amazing. But will they play a same repeat strat against game 1 where GEEK Fam played against BIGETRON, where they actually cut off and fade out of the cloud? Will we see that happen, like karma hit your place for side GEEK Fam?
I don't know, man. That's why I want to wait and see. I don't know.
I'm excited.
I think we do have a small technical difficulty, but for all of you guys watching, we're going to be coming back into the game very soon. We just want to make sure, as we mentioned before, that these guys are in the perfect condition to start the game. You know when it lags and you hate it, right?
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen. I mean, Yeah, no one wants that, right? So getting into the next
I'll get
game-
rage. I'll become Kufra.
Everybody rage quit. dude, you love Kufra, man. You need to do something about that. You need to, like, do you have the skins?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. You need to support the hero that you love.
I've got ranks too on Kufra.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I'm not really good at Kufra.
Possibly top 500 or something, but
No, but I agree with him. I mean, Kufra does have a lot of things to bring to the table, but I just think it hasn't worked out really well in this play.
This meta, there's just so many things that's way stronger now compared to Kufra.
Which heroes have you seen that haven't really worked out and been pulled out most of the time? I mean, Kufra is one of them.
I don't know, but we'll see after this game. Bye, Faras.
Alright, don't leave me, man. I think we're going to be jumping into the game very soon.
Bye,
I'll
Faras.
pass it back to you guys.
All troops
alrighty, and
deployed.
now coast is clear. We're going into the final game. GEEK Fam versus BIGETRON. Apologies for a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are back. It's Malaysia versus Singapore once again, and you can see all of these guys coming in from GEEK Fam. They are going for a challenge. Badang going in with the walls, trying to lock away Mr. V for once again, and you can see he's going to join the fray in a little bit more, but they are taxing the wave as V goes in, trying to do a little bit more damage over on the side of Zorn.
But now, Zorn, buying a little bit of space here, trying to go for a little value damage here. Unfortunately, not happening out here coming from GEEK Fam. BIGETRON SG on the other hand, they will have Mr. V soloing up top here. But look at this aggressive push, the invade here from Jeff. He wants a zone of Zing, but Zing,
the
the
stop!
arrow!
Blood.
The arrow!
Perfectly done.
Just by a mere split second there, catches it before Singh actually comes out alive. But now they lose a buff for the next 2 minutes here from the side of BIGETRON SG.
Now looking into the mid game here, I do think that Sync, he needs to actually be halted there, and they found the right target, and the ban onto the Lunox was a really, really good call going into the side of GEEK Fam. And man, that Selena with the stun, the minus is just playing insane. Oh, another arrow goes into the mid lane, landing on him, and it this time.
I think the game yesterday as well, where a lot of teams, when they face up against GEEK Fam, they really don't want to play against Dominus Selena. They find it super annoying. It works really well against, I think it was the game with this Nara. That game. So I think BIGETRON actually forgotten about this because we were all
Turtle
focusing on
resurrecting
towards the
soon.
Esmeralda pick. And the moment they ban it off, things get a little bit different now.
Yeah, and looking into how the tempo of the game is going, you can see that BIGETRON is a little bit more focused onto sticking together, but it seems like they managed to catch Jeff just like that. Gushin gets one in hand. Sana just not letting him escape.
Oh, but I think this is the first game we actually see a Gushin get an early level 4, but hold that's not for now. Jason Dog getting dived pretty hard here. Fix wants to pop the shadow kill here. The arrow getting connected. The arrow connects onto one. He's so low, but Jason Dog, he has the 4. He goes for the lights. He comes out alive in the nick of time, but Zorn will get destroyed. Dominance as well, and then Turtle will 4. Such a close call there, and the Gushin almost. Bigs, what are you doing? Oh no, BIGETRON. They get another one for themselves. KCB, he's so low.
It's so
but now
messy.
Jams gets cut off instead. Mr. Wee with the way of the dragon here. GEEK Fam.
They just get destroyed. As you can see, BIGETRON actually played that out perfectly. They all clumped up together. They tried to actually catch this goal, but he hopped back into the wall, and they tried to go in with the steal, but they did not have the focus on their eyes over on the BIGETRON